All right, so we are going to start with breathing. Standing up, inhale, open, reach it out and up, and exhale. Just feel the space around you, really get big into your space. Inhale, radiating outward, filling up, expanding, getting bigger, and on the exhale, softening, bending your knees. Inhale, open, reach it out and up, and exhale, relax down. Inhale, lift. This time, bend your knees, take it down, and just shift from side to side. Bend one knee, bend the other, shifting side to side. Let it ripple through your spine. Free up inside your body. So freeing up inside your torso. Let your head totally relax. And then come back in, roll it all the way up. Interlace your hands up over your head. Push through the heels of the hands and just easy side side. Not necessarily going for your biggest stretch yet, but getting some movement in your ribs, in your diaphragm, in your organs, and in the whole side body from your foot on the floor up through the heel of your hands. So feeling this feet connected to the earth, arms reaching up to the skies, to the heavens. And then let's just circle down. So feeling out to your edges, the fingertips circling through your arms. I'm just going to shut a door. And then we're going to circle them back up. So change direction to circle up. Feeling as if your arms are really the wings of your lungs, the wings of your heart, and then circling down again, changing direction. And so as I'm moving, I'm kind of in and out with my elbows, feeling this connection into this whole upper quadrant. So let's get weights and just do this really light weights. And I'm just going to circle shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. Yeah, letting your weight shift and thinking of the whole movement of the arm, shoulder, and collarbone, sort of massaging your lungs and your heart. So this big movement on the outside is moving the inner body, right? So if there's any kind of buildup, any kind of plaque, any kind of stuff sticking in your heart, your lungs, you can move that around. Then we're going to take it forward. And I'm going to do more of a elbow up. Feeling that ripple through my spine, shifting my weight from side to side. So this isn't even like, the weight is just there to give you more information. It's not like, oh, I'm working really hard, I got the burn. It's just happening. Susan is popping in. All right, so we're working with weights and I'm recording. So I'm muting you, Susan. And let's do this. You're going to, how does it work? You're going to have your hands, so palm down, you're going to come up, flip them over, open them out, bring them in, flip them and lower down, up, open, out, in. And again, feeling how your arms are connecting in through your shoulder girdle, through your collarbones to these upper quadrants of your body, upper right and upper left. Lungs and heart inside there. And actually there's a lot more inside there. Like even our organs are kind of, I always kind of think of our organs being more under the diaphragm. I mean, the organs of the intestines, the stomach, the spleen, the pancreas, liver, but in fact, they are kind of nestled up inside there, especially as we breathe, they're coming up and down. So letting them have some movement. Good, and we're gonna change it. You're gonna come up, open, reach out, bring it in, flip it, lower down, up, open, reach out slightly in front of you. So you're not taking it back, kind of forward there. Bring it in, flip, up, like, oh, let me take it all in. Bring it in, together, up, flip, reaching out, bring it in. So now we're working the muscles a little bit more in that expansive opening. And down. And also, like, as I start to do this, I can feel stuff in my neck as well, right? So this is this whole upper body working. And it's not like, oh, I'm tensing my neck. I just feel the connection of my arms into the center of my body so that I can feel as I reach my arms out, I'm working to stabilize my body a little bit more, not to work harder, but to just feel more connected. All right, just the shoulders again, circling. Find the breath. Really trying to breathe in through your nose, exaggerating the breathing. Let's go with both shoulders together, bending your knees and straightening. And then change direction up and over. So I didn't really do much pole for a couple of months when I was in those shows. And then I came back, and what I found was that the muscles under my scapula had gotten more weak. So actually what I was most sore with was these muscles under here. So we want to make sure that our scapula can really move on our back, right? We're not locking them down into place, but we're giving them capacity for movement. We're mobilizing them. Good. Let's do one thing up and down. Let's just go to a parallel position. You're just going to press up and then come down, pressing up and coming down. So pressing up with straight legs, press and come down, and press and come down. And then turn your feet out. And again, press up and down, up and down, opening the lungs, reaching out, up and down, and then parallel. One more time, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And let's bend our knees, stick out your butt. So you're gonna arch back, try to get that arch in your back so you're not collapsed, but really arching, working the erector spinae, the long erector muscles of your back. Going 1, out to the side, wings, 2, 3, 4, all the way into your heart, all the way into your lungs, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come back in. Let's get rid of the weights and just do a little bit more movement standing. So Gil Headley talks about our hearts, like, oh, where's your heart? People go, oh, it's here on the left side. But if we think of the heart as being a whole system, it's the blood flowing through our whole body. So that blood is going all the way out to our fingertips, all the way down to our toes, all the way around our head and brain, right? Our blood is nourishing, bringing oxygen, bringing nutrition to our whole body. So if we think of that system as being all the way radiating out to our fingertips, so that our heart is really everywhere that our blood is, everywhere in our whole body, just taking that in. So it's not just this pump in here, it's this fluid system moving through our whole body. And also, usually traveling along with our vascular flow is nerves and lymphatic, right? So when we reach out to the edge, it's not just the veins and arteries that are reaching out there, it's the nerves, it's the lymph moving through. We're one whole connected system. Just spiral with that idea. Feeling the centrifugal force as the blood flows out to your hands with this spiral, right? Can you feel that weightedness as your arms are flowing out, right? So you're giving a pull with this movement out toward the hands by just giving them a fling. If you don't move very fast, there's not much of a fling. So you want to let that move out so you can feel the blood going, or the fluids in your body going all the way out to your fingertips. Just really thinking a lot these days, I have been just really thinking a lot these days about the integration all the way out to our hands, all the way out to our fingertips, right? Having this awareness and the sense of connection through our body. So it's not just, oh, that's my hand, this is happening to my hand, but my hand is really an integrated part of my whole system of my body, my whole being. And let's take it down to the floor. Sitting on our butts in a cross-legged position. Especially like as we age, but not just as we age, all the time it's important, but as we age also sometimes things are getting a little bit more, they're not necessarily staying online in the same way as if we're running around doing things. So just keeping to bring them back online, heart, hands, lungs, this whole system working together. All right, let's circle rib cage, lungs, and heart. This whole area over our pelvis, let your head free up. Change direction. Got the nice creaky floor going on here. And then we're going to go side side. So opening the arms out, stretching over to one side. Inhale, fill up and expand. Exhale over to the other side. Reaching out into the space, right? Feeling your fascia radiating away from center so that we have this movement from the center out to the edges, but then also from the edges coming back in. Sense of connection out to the edges of our kinesphere. And then we're going to circle the whole way around. So taking it sideways and then forward and around and opening it up. Side stretch, forward and around, and inhale, open. Sideways, circling, and open. One more time, sideways and circle, and open it up. Also thinking of like the muscles in our body, the actual muscle fiber is really juicy and wet and fluid. Changing, circling around, changing feet. If you haven't yet, change them, non-dominant in front. So like when we're engaging our muscles, we're encouraging this fluidity of our body, right? But if we're constantly holding and contracting, then we're not allowing that kind of, I want to say, plumping of the muscles to happen. Change direction if you haven't. But what I'm trying to say is that our body, sometimes we think I've injured a muscle. And in reality, you may have injured the fascia more than the muscle. That's really the holding of the muscle. So the muscle is integrated with fascia, it's moving through it. And the same thing like within our joints, like that's usually going to be tendon, ligament, maybe even the edge of the bone or, you know, the bursa. All right, going to the side. We're going to go slower this time. And the reason that I'm saying that is because when we think of our body being really fluid, fluids move and they're capable of healing much faster than like more solid, dense things. Taking it to the side, which is one reason why I really am trying to emphasize like the heart, the blood flow, the fluidity of our body, the lymphatic. Take it over to the other side. And when we can open up our mind to the fact that our bodies are these alive systems that have a tremendous capacity to heal, but it doesn't necessarily always heal the quickest in sort of a stagnant way. Movement, gentle movement, awareness, are going to help us heal more quickly. Sideways and open it up. And let's just spiral towards the top leg, twisting, looking around behind you, and spiraling the other way. Yeah, so I've always been of the mind that if I'm a little bit injured, I still need to move a little bit to get that tissue and fluidity to keep renegotiating, recapitulating, re-establishing life energy in my body. Let's take it down to the floor. And knee dropping from side to side, just letting your knees go one way and then the other. Your head can go with that. Try turning your head in the same direction that your knees are going. Let yourself use the floor to massage out your back. And then if you want to take it a little deeper, let that leg come across. Big spiral. It's funny, the floor makes the same kind of creaking sounds that my cat makes. The Peapod has this, she's kind of a little weird grunter. She's like, and so when I hear the floor sort of grunting, it's a lot like the Peapod. Oh, it's even more over here. Oh, well, now that I've pointed it out for you to notice. Yeah, and now I'm going to go a little bit bigger with these reaches. If you want to try and grab your foot and straighten through there, you can. If it's not, if you can't grab your foot, but you can grab your knee, try that. Just taking the twist a little bit deeper. We're actually going to roll over onto our stomachs. So coming onto your belly on the floor, bend your knees and spiral. So now similar movement, but a little bit different because we're on our belly. So the movement is similar to the knee drop, but not the same. And we're just going to take it and let your leg reach across. So you're going to roll across your quads and then just reach your leg. So it's again, another spiral. But now the relationship to gravity is different as we're doing this spiral. If this hurts, don't do it. Good, and let's roll it back onto our backs on the floor. I'm trying to find the least creaky area in here, and maybe isn't one. Just accept the creaking. All right, let's take it, let's grab our weights again. Yeah, so with weighted movement, what we're requiring of the bone is a lot more, and the muscle as well, right? And we want like really three-dimensional movement through the bones, the muscles, because how they build is by pull and push happening in different dimensions, right? Different directions are pulling and pushing. Here's the pea pod with her famous single pea right there. All right, let's take it down to the floor. Grab onto your weights and you're going to circle around. Feeling that massaging out your back on the floor, but also feeling the pulls in your body as you're moving. So like feeling how that is building the tissue and the bone in your body, and change direction, other way. So, I mean, I think the biggest reason, well, there's many reasons to use weights. One is to develop strength, but the strength might be like the strength of your bones, the strength of your fascia, the strength of your muscle fiber. And it's also the coherence of that. So how well that is working with the rest of your body, right? Coherent fascia is well organized. Uncoherent fascia is like people that don't move very much, their fascia becomes kind of like felt-like or boiled wool, not very harmonic in its spatial alignment with itself. It's a weird way of saying it. All right, let's take the hands up, internally and externally rotate, spiraling in, spiraling out, thinking of moving the bones around each other. So we're not trying to get like the burn here. We're just giving some more information into the bone with a different relationship to gravity. We can take it out to the side and again, spiral a little bit. You'll feel it differently. Opening it out wider, same thing. Changing your relationship of the weight to gravity and your body to gravity, right? We're laying on our backs and bringing it back up. Let's do like the pony, one arm up, one arm down. If it feels like it's too much weight, just take the weight out. Good, and then let's spiral hands down, looking towards your hips, and then arms over your head. Exhale, palms toward the floor. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, giving your body the intention and the directive to build strength in your bones and in your muscles. Connection and coherence, and then palms facing each other. Feeling how that connects again into the rib cage, lungs, and heart through the arms. And then you're going to go with palms facing up. And my elbows are slightly bent. I'm trying it straight. Yeah, give your elbows just a little bit of a bend so you're not locking in there, especially if you have a lot of hyperextension. Last one. And let's do a couple with the arms spiraling, internally rotating, palms facing out. They may not be as big. I am not going as high up with my head. Work in a range of motion that feels right to you right now. And then let that go. And get rid of your weights. And then let's take it into some bridges. So let's use the block for this. So grab your block. Yeah, my block is becoming more and more abused by the little white cat. He just loves to attack this thing. Block between your knees this way. Taking your pelvis up. Circles with your hips. Working in a range of motion that feels good to you. Let your spine be free. So we're not trying to add tension into our torso. We're just working the muscles as efficiently as possible, which means not driving the car with the brakes on, not adding extra tension. Change direction, other way. Breathing, letting your head free up so that you're not locking into place even as you're down there. Good, and then come into center, roll it down through your spine. Take your block out and just place it under one of your feet. So block is on one foot, the other foot's on the floor. We're gonna inhale up and exhale down. Hands can be down by your sides, out there, wherever you want them. Inhale, lift, exhale, folding down. Pushing the floor away, lowering down. Press and fold, press and fold, up and down, up and down. And let's shift the block to the other foot. Same thing, up and down. Inhale, exhale, use your breath. Up, down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Two more. Last one. Bringing the block back to your first foot one more time. If you don't have a block, you can also do this with no block. It's going to be a little different, or use something else, something like a book, like a big fat dictionary or encyclopedia or something like that. The telephone book of old. Press it back up. Take the opposite leg, the one that was on the floor, up to the ceiling. We're going to make small circles. I'm going to take my arms down to help me balance. Circling with pointed toes. Think of the toes making that circle. Long, straight leg, pushing the floor away. And then flex and go the other way, reaching through your heel. Then you're going to point your toes, poke a hole through the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take the whole thing down. Let's just take a quick happy baby. Release that side for a second before we do the other one. Breathing into it. Shake it out, let it go, coming back to neutral. And then block under the other foot, hands down by your sides. Pressing up. Foot that was on the floor comes up, circles, long straight leg, pointed toes, radiating out. Breathe. And flex, change direction. Point your toes, poke a hole to the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fold it in, take it down, push your block away, take another happy baby, breathe into it. Breathing, wiggling, free flow your baby, whatever that means to you. And then let's do the big leg circles with no block. So I'm going to put my hands down, kind of underneath my butt, legs up to the ceiling, pointed toes, circling out and down, breathing into it. Oh my God. The sound thing is driving me insane. It's okay. It's okay. Circles. So I'm going to point up and flex down. I'm going to take my hands up behind my head, using your breath. Big or small with the circles, whatever feels good to you. Give it a shake and release, and then change direction, pointing down and flexing up. Two more. Last one. And relax down. Wiggle, free up your spine, head, tail, easy and loose. Send some ripples and waves through your torso. Relax your belly, relax your guts. And let's just stretch really long here, reaching through the right side, getting longer, and then the left side, just lengthening one and then the other. Letting your pelvis move, let the whole thing get very long. Breathing into it. Bending both knees, arms out to the side, picking your feet up off the floor, spiraling here. Head goes one way, legs go the other. If you want to straighten your legs out and make it a little bit harder, go for it. Turning your head away from your legs if your back feels good. If your back is hurting, turn it in the same direction. Let's come in, hands behind your head, one leg in, one leg out. Reach. Let's flex up through the ceiling and then change. Reach it out. Ceiling, cross. Inhale, exhale. So contralateral movement, cross body movement, great for your nervous system. And just to let you know, I am going to be teaching a 2-hour space class in January 7th. It's on Eventbrite. I will put a link for it into the section below, the description. It'll be like learning sort of the 3-dimensional Laban space theory, but in a really easy, fun way, and creating a relationship with it. I feel like having a relationship with space creates a huge support system just in my own mind and in my physical sensation of being in the world. All right, let's take this faster. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Relax. Arch and curl. Ripple your spine. Push with your feet. See if you can send a wave of movement up and down through your body. Relax your neck and jaw. So if you're holding tension, like we've overstabilized, in my opinion, as far as bodies are concerned. We want to have fluidity and mobility, especially as we age. We don't just want to be getting more and more stable. More and more stable means eventually we're not moving anymore. So we want to work with mobility, patterns of movement where we're freeing up the holding patterns in our body so that we have access to movement. So that's what all this arm stuff is. That's what all these ripples are. It's like freeing the pattern so we're not locking it down. We're not holding ourselves in. We're releasing and letting go. Relax your neck and jaw and face. We can try this heel rock with your feet on the floor. If you're on a mat and you have socks on, it should work. If you're on the smooth floor and you have socks on, your feet might slide. So you might want to just pull the sock off of your heel. Now, see if you can start to let your pelvis release. Let your belly and guts relax. Rib cage, lungs, heart, neck, and head softening so that you're sending a wave of movement up and down through your body. Even if you feel like you're kind of faking it, that's okay. Let it have some mobility. So if I don't really think about it, then I tend to get a little bit more locked up here in my sternum. If I think about it and sort of add that wave in, I get this extra rippling pattern through there. So let that go, open up, free stretch, shake things out, whatever you got to do. And let's just roll from side to side. So you're going to roll onto one side and then roll onto the other, allowing this to massage out your back. Think of your body as really being a body of water. So you're pulling down towards the floor. You're not lifting up away from it, right? You're relaxing and pouring yourself from side to side. And then from there, you're going to pour yourself over onto one side, push into the floor, and let yourself come partway up, and then melt back down into the floor, roll across to the other side. You can push into the floor, come up, and then soften, roll yourself back in, like you're pouring your body of water down onto the floor, one side at a time. If I slide this hand under, then I can use my arm for support as I go from side to side. So if I come up, the hand that's closest to the floor, if I let that go down, I can give myself a really easy way of entering the floor, letting that slide under. Okay, last one. We're going to continue coming up with that and swing around until you're on your hands and knees. If you need extra padding, by all means, get it. I'm going to take off this extra shirt. Yeah. And we're going to do some cat-cow, moving into a ripple and a wave through the cat-cow. So let's curl the toes under for the beginning, and you're going to kind of pull with your hands on the floor. So you're firing up the back of the arms, arching, and then you're going to push, curl, and round. Toes curl under, pulling with your hands on the floor, firing up the back of the hands, arching, opening the chest, and then pushing, rounding, and curling. So really different energetic patterns. The head and tail are radiating away from each other in this arch. And then in the curl, we're scooping up, arching, head and tail, trying to pull in the two different directions, up and down, and then curling and hollowing and rounding. Like Nuit, the night sky. All right, we're going to come into neutral, and we're going to see if we can start to make a more gentle ripple through our spine from our tail to our head. So tail to head, rippling. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm engaging my abs and then this and then this. Like I'm thinking more of like I'm sending a wave up through my body. So it's letting the fluids really move as opposed to thinking muscular, like this muscle engages, that muscle contracts. Don't think like that. Think fluid body, sending a ripple up to your head. And it doesn't have to be big movement, right? Sometimes the smaller movement is easier to adjust. If you feel like that is going, then try it with your head so that you're initiating from the top down to the bottom. So it's like head down to the tail, rippling in the other direction. And then you're going to free it up. You're going to add some side-side movement, letting the pattern move in any way that feels good. Again, really freeing up the shoulder blades on the back. Imagining inside of your spinal cord, lots of room. Imagining that this movement, very gentle, very easy, if that feels good, or if you want to go more extreme, that's fine too. You can also take this down onto your elbows if your wrists are bothering you. But imagining that this movement is creating space inside your spinal cord and also letting your discs fluff up. So your cushy marshmallow discs are fluffing up through this movement. Like we're not locked into this is how my back is and that's just it. No, it's got fluidity. It's got aliveness. You have blood flow. You have cerebrospinal fluid. You have lymphatic movement. So there's all sorts of capacity for change. So tune into that. Not so that we become hypermobile, just so that we're not locking up or sort of crushing in in our backs, in our spines. Like there's spinal stenosis where there's a narrowing of the spinal cord. So move a little bit so that we're creating space for the spinal cord from the tail to the head, from the head to the tail, right? Brain down through your spinal cord, route it out through your body, the whole nervous system, getting this fluidity, like an internal soft bath. All right, let's come off of the hands and just rotate in and out again. Like you're presenting, oh, here, have some sandwiches, bring it in. So there's this real inner outer thing going, radiating out, coming back in. But as my elbows are coming in, my hands are going out, and then it goes in the reverse, right? So very three-dimensional movement, feeling it into my fingertips, sort of carving through the space with the tissue of the arms, getting that spiral here. And even if I just did it here, right, with my lower arm, radius and ulna, the two bones of my lower arm, really getting that nice juicy hydration by moving, right? Especially if we're spending a lot of time here or here, right? Which most people are. Get that to open out again. Even so, what's the opposite of this movement? This movement, right? And then feeling the connection all the way in to our pecs, our lats, our heart and lungs, the whole system. Yeah, so bringing that to life again, wings of the heart. If we were allowed more, or not as children, as if we were given more opportunities, sort of free dance, free expression, free movement, I think we would be very different. Also, if adults had that, we would be very different. So let's come again onto our hands and knees and just circle this way, chest to the floor and then up to the ceiling. Letting your head do whatever feels good, mobilizing the whole torso. And change direction, other way. And let's take our elbows down to the floor and get into our legs. So one leg out behind you, up and down, going one. Feel that long tail of a leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep going. 11, 12. Bend your knee at the top and circle your foot in one direction and circle it in the other direction. And then toes pointing to the ceiling as high as they can go. So not just staying parallel here, but lifting, 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 going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And release it down. Other leg out, up and down. 1, I think I did 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bend your knee, circle your foot one direction, circle your foot the other direction, point your toes, poke a hole through the ceiling as high as it can go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Take it down. Child's pose, surrender, melt. Breathe into your body. Breathe deep down into your pelvis, or imagine the breath going deep into your pelvis. So you're freeing up your guts, freeing up your lower back, freeing up your organs. Growing and shrinking with the breath. So getting really big on the inhale. And then letting go on the exhale. Melting into the floor. And then we're going to come up, hands a little further forward, circles with your hips down towards the floor, and then out behind you. And change direction, other way. Good. And then let's take it into a forearm plank. Just hold this back again. So forearm plank. In your forearm plank, just holding it, rotate your hands open and closed. Palms open, palms closed, palms open, palms closed, palms open, palms closed. One knee to the floor at a time, parallel, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pushing forward and backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and take it down. Melt, soften. This time, easy, loose knee drops or foot drops from side to side, massaging through your quads. Breathing. Ideally in through your nose. And then taking the tops of the feet to the floor, open the arms out side, circles with the arms. Radiating out, big, open, expansive wings. Connected through healthy joints. Change direction. And then you're going to flex through the heels of the hands. Here we're going to go internally rotate, externally rotate, internally rotate, externally rotate, internally rotate, externally rotate, internally rotate, externally rotate. Take your hands next to your chest, arch all the way up, and then exhale, release it back down, using your breath to come up. Inhale, lengthen and open, front of the body, and exhale, soften it back down. Inhale up and exhale. One more. Inhale, lift. This time you're going to let yourself sink into your shoulders and push through. Sink and push through. Sink and push through. Sink and push through. Take it back into your child's pose again. Drop your head down to the floor. Really relax your head into the mat. Interlace your hands out in front of your head. You're going to roll up onto the crown of your head and then roll it back. Rounding your spine and then lengthening your tail back. Curling up, lengthen down, curl it up, lengthen down. Shift your weight back and come up. I want to take us back onto our backs again with legs out. And let's take the, I had a plan here. What was it? Oh, I know what it is. Opposite leg. One leg comes in, the other leg comes in, just alternating. Yeah, we're not going to change it. Just reach one in, one out. Think of that bottom leg really lengthening out of your torso. Coming in, bottom leg lengthening out. So as I come up, I'm not staying contracted here. I'm kind of lengthening down so that I feel long through here. Coming in, the other leg reaches, and I lengthen down and out. Bring it up, bottom leg, reach, long body, and come in, long body, and come in. Let's go with flexed feet, reach through your heel, and come up, reach through your heel, and come up, reach it out, and in, out, in, out, in, go back to pointing, lengthen it down, bring it up, lengthen it down, bring it up, lengthen it down. Drop your head to the floor if you need to. Last one. Bring it in. You're going to open both legs out to the side and then shift. One knee comes up, the other knee comes up. You're freeing up your pelvis so it could ring like a bell. Pelvis like a bell. Lower body. This might be here where you're going kind of like that. That's fine. Super open, not so open, whatever you got. You can also hold on, but try to get this movement so that your pelvis is doing that. Show you this way. One side down and then the other side down. And I'm just flexing and pointing my feet as I feel like. And then you're going to open your feet wide, internally rotate one leg at a time, spiraling in. Breathing into it. So a lot of times, like in yoga, Pilates, and dance, people are very concerned with your rib cage not popping out. So I think that it's important that we don't anchor it so much that we don't have any movement in there. So maybe coming onto one side and letting the rib cage actually pop, so you're arching a little bit, and then letting it soften in. Not so that you're hyper contracting and constricting, but just that you're getting some movement in your diaphragm, in your spine, in your organs, right in here, letting it pop out. So there would be my rib popping. Now it's really connected, but you can see that as I connect, it's a little bit of a contraction. Maybe that's a little too much for some people. So we don't want to be walking around all contracted and constricted, remembering that tucking our tail, like if I come into that much of a contraction, it's kind of a tail tuck. Ultimately, it's like my spine's curled a little bit. That is submission in the animal kingdom. Do it with the other side as well. So you're feeling, here's my line on my ribs. If I let it pop a little bit and then draw it down, I can do it also just with my breath, getting that movement in there. But let yourself stick it out and then soften back in. It's not that one part is right or wrong. It's just that we want to have access to all the ways of being, right? And know that if we're going into a submission in our body, that we've chosen to do that and we want to be there, right? We're not just doing it because somebody told us to. Good, and come in, and then both knees together and circle. Let that massage out your lower back. And change direction, circling the other way. Breathe and let go. And let's roll over onto one side. And let me just check the time because I'm totally not paying attention. And of course, I don't have a clock in here. And my computer's about to die. So hold on for 1 second. Oops. Okay, so we'll just do a couple things on our sides and then we'll stretch and that'll be it. So coming onto side plank, coming up, opposite arm and leg off. Let's just push through the heel of the hand and make a circle with that bottom leg. So this is going straight above me and the leg is circling in the back and the front, circling right below me. And then you're going to change direction, flex the foot, circle the other way, and then come in and arch back. We're just going to do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come down, butt to the floor, swing your legs around over to the other side. Knee on the floor, elbow down. This top arm is reaching straight up above me, pointed toes, circles. Breathing, flex and change direction. Long body. And then folding it in and out for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And come down. And we're going to do one knee over the other. So this could be like this, crossing one knee over. You're on the outside of the foot here. Let's actually do that. I feel like my body needs like a little interlude before we go all the way. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot cross, take it down. Surrender and melt. Let go. And then coming up, foot on the floor, spiral so that you're twisting toward the leg. And we're going to change legs. Other leg comes across, take it down, breathe and melt. Big breathing, moving the inner body with the breath, creating space with the breath. And then coming up, foot on the floor, spiraling towards it. and then coming back. And we're going to take the first leg again. If you want to, you can fold the bottom leg underneath. So if you've got a double fold, go for it. If not, leave it straight out in front of you. From here, we're just going to circle around. As you're circling here, let your body really sink into your hips, or lift yourself up out of them. So each body's going to feel a little different. And depending on your flexibility, it will feel either better to sink or to pick up. So play with that and see which one feels better. Try sinking in, try picking yourself up out of it. Change direction if you haven't. Letting your own energy come back to yourself. So if you have a lot of things, threads of energies and thoughts and ideas and people over here and over there, bring that back into yourself, right? So that your energy is in you, not wandering off in 60,000 different directions. This position where we cross the legs, great place to take your energy back in, taking it forward and down. Breathe, let go. And then uncurl, come up, unscramble the legs, give them a little bang, rotate in and out. Switch it to the other side, crossing. And again, circling and thinking of just inviting yourself back into yourself. Recalling anything that's run off in the wrong direction. And change direction. Yeah, to bring yourself back to yourself. This is a good way with this crossed leg position. And take it forward, surrender and melt. Surrendering into your own highest good. Your highest good is not in conflict with anyone else's highest good. Breathe. And then unscramble and let your legs go out, bang them up and down, rotate in and out, easy and loose. Slide your feet in, take your butt up to the ceiling, let your head hang down, shift your weight from side to side. You can bend your knees, ripple through your spine, do whatever you feel like you need to do, listening into your own body. And then come in, roll it all the way up, coming up to the top. Just inhaling, opening again, filling up, letting go. Inhale, open. Exhale. We're going to take our hands together and just dive through the ceiling. So we're focusing our energy up and then opening out into the world. Again, diving through the ceiling, prayer up and out. Third one, same thing, focusing up and out. And then we're going to gather in, filling up, either coming down with prayer. So you can come down here, centering yourself, planting yourself, or you can dive down into the ground, like really planting your energy. Inhale, fill up, expand, get bigger. Exhale, bringing it down, prayer or diving into the floor, whatever feels good to you. Third set, up, taking it down, and then just inhaling, open, and exhaling, letting it go down the outside. So thank you, TV Land. If you made it through, brava. And the great exciting news is I just made 1,000 people. Now I only need like 1,800 hours and I'll be there.